I've had some requests from students to go over some of these items from section 3.3. So what I've done is I've gone into the Certify, and it allows me to look at work that they've done. So I picked out a couple of students and see where there were errors. And through this medium, I'm able to hopefully guide through the success of getting this done. All right, so let's look at this first one here. Find the equation of a line that passes through this. So this is our point here, 3 comma negative 4. And that is perpendicular to the line with the equation x equals 4. So on your worksheet or wherever you're doing the work for this, you read it carefully, pick out some important items, and then now you study it. Well, what is the equation x equals 4? And you may recall that's an equation in the form x equals a, which is a vertical line. So this blue line here is this equation. Now you want a line that's perpendicular to it. Well, what kind of line would be perpendicular to a vertical line? Well, a horizontal line. Then that one is y equals b. Now, as we look at our ordered pair, remember we said we could list this as a comma b. What would be this equation using these coordinates? Well, our y is going to equal the negative 4. And that would be the answer. And that line would form like so. Would go through that point and be perpendicular. Now, another error that I spotted, and there were some that were correct, so I'm skipping those, is find the equation of the line shown. You want your answer in point slope form. So again, you would need to write point slope form. Y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. Now, as you look at this line, you have to find out what the slope is. So it's going through this point right there. That's the y-intercept. And that would be 0, comma 8. And you could look for some point of intersection here. Is that one there? Let me pause. And some of these take a little bit of inspection. So I think I have a point there, or I have that one down here. So you could make your right triangle. This is 4 units here. And this is up 3. So it's negative slope. So that would be a negative 3 over 4. And now we just have to find our point to put into point slope form. Now I could use this one, but the more traditional one would be this. And what is this point here? Well, it's negative 4 going over 4 this way. And then it looks like an 11 here. But again, this is all things you would need to do while you're working on meeting the answer for this statement. Point slope form, you found the slope, And now you're going to put this point in. Now our y-coordinate is 11. There is a negative in the formula, so this goes in as a negative 11. Remember, this is what gives it its opposite sign. Now, our y value is a negative 4, but there's a negative already there. So the opposite of a negative 4 makes this a positive 4. And that would be the answer to this equation. Okay, looking at this one, find the equation, but now they're asking it in slope-intercept form. So I would write that down. Y equals mx plus b of a line with a given slope that passes through a given coordinate. So here is all the information we need to fill in this formula. We just have to find what our b value would become. So, starting to fill it in, our slope is 2. Now what's our x value here? Our x value is 3. What's our y value? Our y value is negative 2. What we don't know is what b is. So this is a case where we're going to solve for the letter b. So this is negative 2 equals 6 plus b. We didn't have to multiply through to get rid of any fraction. We transpose the 6 to this side. On this side it becomes a negative 6, so this becomes a negative 8 equals b. So we now have found what our b is. We then put it in this form. Y equals, we know our slope is 2, and then we have to put it in the x, and our new b value is a negative 8, and that is the correct answer. Now keep in mind throughout these, if you get it wrong, you do have this tutor there to help you go through the specifics of it. Let's go on. All right, I've changed students here, gone to someone else. Again, we just did one like this, but let's do another one. Here, they're asking us to find an equation in slope-intercept. So that would be y equals mx plus b. So we start to fill in. Our slope is a negative 2. Our x value is a negative 3. Our y value is a negative 2. And we just want to find out what our new b value would become. Again, there are no fractions. So negative 2. Now, negative 2 times negative 3 is a positive 6. Transpose our 6 to the other side, becomes a negative 6. So this becomes a negative 8 equals b. So now we write the equation in slope-intercept form. Y equals, now our slope, negative 2, don't forget the x, and then our new b value, a negative 8. And that's what we have. Now, this person had this one correct, but let's just go over the protocol as a general review. So in standard form, this is the equation. We want to find, if we wanted one that was parallel to it, we'd have to find the slope of this, and then later if it was perpendicular. So the key to this is to put this in slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. Now, I always like to make my y positive right away. So I'm going to move my y to this side where it becomes a positive 6y. And we did one like this too recently. So we move the negative 1 to the other side where it becomes a positive 1. So we divide everything by 6. And then we can put it in the regular form here where the y is on the left. So this would be y equals 5 6x plus 1/6. Okay, but we're only interested in what would be the slope of a line that's parallel to this. Well, it would have to have the same slope, and that's what they have. And then the slope of a line perpendicular to this would be the opposite sign and the reciprocal of this, which is 6/5, which this person had as well. Now, and then if you had to find a new equation that went through a particular point, let's say 2, 1, that was perpendicular to this line. And if they wanted it in point slope form, let's do that. So that would be y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. So we would start to substitute into this equation. Now the slope would be a negative 6/5. Our x would be, again, because of the negative, it's going to be the opposite sign. So negative 2. And our y, again, because of the opposite sign here, it's going to be a negative 1. And there it is in point slope form. Now, suppose they wanted it in slope-intercept form. We're just doing a lot of repetition here. Well, right from this, we know the slope is going to be a negative 6/5. Our x is 2. We don't know what our b is, but we know our y is 1. So we've just substituted. So again, I would use the technique of getting rid of that 5 as a fraction there, that denominator, by multiplying everything by 5. So I'll put the little brackets here. This 5 times everything. 5 times 1 is 5. Here the 5's cancel out and we get a negative 12. Negative 6 times 2. And this is going to be 5b. Transpose the negative 12 becomes a positive 12. So this is 17 equals 5b. And the 5 we're going to divide both sides by. So we get b equals 17/12. So our equation is y equals, now we know our slope is a negative 6/5 x, and our new b value is a positive 17/5. Okay, we don't want to make this too long, but hopefully again some helpful items relating to topic 3.3 as a help on the practice and certify. And keep in mind, you can open the tutor at any time to get some help. And remember, I did another help one on some rather challenging. These weren't too bad, but repetition is good.